A woman comes out and says she doesn't want to have children and everybody goes up in arms. Why do you people want people who don't want children to have children? That just shows that you guys don't really care about kids. Because if you care about children, you would know that it is dangerous for a kid to be with someone who don't want them. And I think it's about time we as a society come to the realization that we are actually a failure. Because if the most vulnerable in our society are not being cared for, provided for, and protected, we are a failure.
So this 12-year-old girl who is in primary 3 has been by a 50-something-year-old man, and she got pregnant. And now they are soliciting for funds to be able to help her get a C-section because she is not matured enough to do like vaginal delivery. And somebody commented in the post saying that she shouldn't even have business giving birth at 12-year-old and they should have opted for. And of course, some religious people who are very stupid are in the comments saying that is a sin, she's going to hell and she should just give birth and give someone the child, blah 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 blah, the religious bullshit anyway. And my question to you is, if God knows that abortion is a sin, why did God allow her get pregnant when she was? Even if God cannot prevent her from being, at least God should have prevented her from getting pregnant. And if he had prevented her from getting pregnant, we wouldn't be talking about at this point. And for people that are saying, oh, what if she by doing abortion? What if she by when she go to do? Are you aware that she can buy while giving birth because she's not matured enough to give birth? Are you aware that also giving birth to that child would buy her? Possibly. So keep your religious judgment and your religious sentiments aside and face reality. I believe that God is a just God, and God being a just God is a God that should understand that a 12-year-old that has been has no business keeping that child. She has no business giving birth to that child, except she wants to, of course.
Now, let's take a pause right here. So far, I agree what sis has been saying from the beginning of the video up until this point where she's now saying that unless she wants to keep the child, then she can make that decision. I don't agree with that aspect of the video, that perspective of hers, because I don't think a 12-year-old child, I don't think 12-year-old children should be making such a decision. They are not mentally mature enough to even comprehend, understand in entirety the gravity of such a decision and how it would not only affect her life but also the life of this child. It's the adults in her life, her parents, that are supposed to be protecting her and making the best decisions for her, decisions that are going to be in her best interest. They are the ones that are supposed to make this decision for her, and obviously we can see the decision that they choose to make after they found out what happened. And in my humble opinion, I feel very bad for this little girl that this is the decision that the adults around her choose to make for her.
Any God of justice will understand that. And you as a child of God that claim that your religion is based on love and empathy should also understand that.
So far, the man in question who did this to this little girl hasn't been caught, not to even talk about being brought to the books. The police want us to believe that they are trying to find him, but we don't even have a name, a picture of what this man even looks like. And knowing how unfortunately we live in a society where they don't really be taking rape cases seriously, I highly doubt that these people are even out there looking for this man.
And not only am I angry to the point where I think not only the should go and meet the devil, but everyone involved in seeing that child carry that pregnancy full term needs to follow him. And then the creators that keep posting videos about her need to be arrested. What I even found so annoying is how they started the caption of the video where they were talking about the girl giving birth, and they started with good news. Good news. How is that good news for anybody? And you see people in the comment section of those videos talking about some, oh, what did you expect the people around to do? Should they have aborted the child? Do you know is literally killing? You have literally ruined a 13-year-old girl's life because of your value and your principle and what your religion has taught you. A child is now a mother because we have refused to see abortion as healthcare. Instead, a child that has been and made a mother is now used for content, and no one is saying anything. No one is saying anything. The person that even her is being positioned on the internet as an unknown man, but we all know it's society that is protecting him. As a country, as a continent, as a planet, this is what we have turned this world into: unsafe for children and a haven for criminals.
At this point of the video, I don't even know what to say, because personally I'm so pissed. and emotional right now. And I feel so bad for that little girl that she had to go through all of these things that she had gone through. That little girl was failed in so many ways by so many people. And see, when I look into the story, there's just so much that got me very, very angry. See, when Paz, this creator, said that they ruined her life by making her make the decision of having that baby, he wasn't stretching. That wasn't him reaching. That wasn't him being pessimistic either. It was him being realistic. Because let me give you guys a quick breakdown of what this girl's life was actually like, or is actually like rather. From what I could find, she has 4 other siblings and her mom. Could not find a dad in the picture. I'm not sure if that is because he's late or if it's a situation of him going to get milk and never coming back. They are so poor, financially struggling, to the point where if you see where they live, you can't even call it a room. It's more like a shack. This 12-year-old girl used to go and sell oranges because she has to contribute financially to the home. I don't know much about her other siblings, but I would not be surprised if they too used to go out and hustle so they can bring back home money to the family. So this little girl has already been doing something that she's not even supposed to be doing. She's 12, and who knows how long she has been doing this for, how long she has been selling oranges, right? At 12, you are supposed to be focused on only getting educated and being a child and enjoying your childhood, for goodness sake. Not thinking about how to raise money for the family. But that's where this girl is from. Normal 12-year-olds are like in GS1, GS2. But it's no wonder that she's a 12-year-old that is in primary 3. Why? Because she's a 12-year-old that is carrying burden of having to think about money and have to go and hawk and sell oranges and hustle and bring money back home to the family. So of course, she's tired. Of course, she's probably sleeping in class. Of course, she doesn't even have time to study because she's a hustler at 12 and thinking about things that 12-year-olds are not supposed to be thinking about. So it's no wonder she's 4 classes behind her peers. It's no wonder she's in primary 3. And I'm speaking and hammering on this fact because I saw some people on the internet talking about, oh, how is she a 12-year-old in primary 3? And some are even making jokes out of it, right? And it's not funny. It's not funny at all. And let's not even talk about the fact that she was maybe, aside from selling oranges, also having to take care of her siblings. Also, maybe sometimes even having to cook and do the laundry and do some of all this extra stuff. So she had her plate full. What time would this girl have to focus on her studies and, progress with her peers? And it was during one of these days where she was out there going to sell oranges, or rather selling oranges. That's how this man lured her into a corner and basically grabbed her, covered her face with a handkerchief, and she went blank because the next thing she knows was when she woke up and she found that she had been raped and she was hot and she had, blood all over her. My point of sharing this little backstory that I could find on this little girl is to try and show to you guys that this is a little girl that unfortunately already had a bad start in life. Like, she was dealt a bad hand from the very beginning. At the moment, she's 4 classes behind her peers. Now she has a baby, meaning right now she's not even going to school. She can't even go to school even if she wanted to, because she has to stay home, rest and recover from childbirth. And by the way, for those wondering, yes, she birthed with CS because she's not mature enough to have a VJJ birth, right? So of course, now she's going to even take longer time recovery because, it's a CS birth. And then you also have to factor in the fact that she has a baby now to take care of and nurture. So she's not going to be going back to school anytime soon. And to keep it 100, you see that gap that she already has between her and her peers would only start getting wider and wider if care is not taken. Because now, for example, she would now have to start selling 2 times, if not even 3, 4, 5 times the amount of oranges she used to sell before, because now she has a baby to think of, to feed, to clothe, to take to the hospital when this baby is sick, to address the baby's medical needs. This baby also have to get an education, and those are not cheap. Even if you want to go get free education from the government, It's not free either, and I would know because that's the education I got. I attended a public school. We still had to pay something or pay for some things at different points in time. You also have to maybe sometimes pay for transportation because the nearest government institution to you just might not be that near. Okay, so you need to get a vehicle to take you down there. The point is, even the public education, you have to pay something for it. It's not that much in comparison to private institutions, but you still need some kind of money to be able to go get this public government education. And then there is also the fact that government public education really isn't the best kind of education. I don't know how it is over there in Ghana, but if their educational system is anything like the one in Nigeria, meaning if this kid is put in a public school, which by the way, that's what they'll be able to afford right now, looking at what they have going, this kid is not going to be getting the best of education. The reason for my rant is to show that before this girl had this baby or was made to have this baby, she already had a cup full. Now, this baby coming into the situation for her is just going to make this cup overflow because now she has this baby that is constantly going to be tugging at her, that she has to constantly now think about and care about and worry about and have to be present for. She cannot be free to go live her life and pursue her dreams like she would have been able to if she did not have this baby. Kids are a blessing, they say. Well, you see this particular kid, this kid most likely just put full stop on this baby girl's life. And this is not me faulting the kids because the kids did not even ask for any of this. They did not ask to come into this world like this. For keeping it 100, putting into consideration the economic status of this little girl and her family, it would be very hard. It would take some kind of miracle for her to be able to bounce from this. And what this also mean for the kid, and just to specify, the kid I mean right now is the little baby that got birthed by the 12-year-old. You see, this is crazy. I have to even be specifying here the kid I'm talking about because they are both kid. Mom is a kid is a kid. They are both children. This is why this entire thing is insane. And it's crazy that they let this happen. It's wild. Like, I'm so frustrated. I'm getting heated up right now. Like, I'm so angry, right? But let me try and pull myself together and get my point across. The financial situation of the family this kid was born into shows that, first of all, this kid is not going to be feeding the best. They are not going to be getting clothed the best. They are not going to get the best roof over their heads. Most likely, maybe when this kid is 12, they would be out on the streets selling something to come help the family. They would not be getting the best of education, except maybe someone comes in to help finance the education, maybe sponsor the kid, right? Give them a scholarship or something. This kid is not going to get the best of education, meaning that this kid will not be able to compete with a good number of kids. You know what? Scratch that. A lot of kids out there in the world, because parents are out here on these streets doing the most for their kids, as they should, because they want to give their kids a fighting chance in life. They want to give their kids a good head start in life. And then you look at what is available for this kid, at least right now that we can see. There is nothing. This kid started at a negative. We can see the cards that this kid was dealt, and for the most part, we can't tell the kind of life that they are most likely going to have. And while, yes, there are exceptions, right? There are people who came to life with similar cards with this kid, or maybe sometimes even worse, and they were able to crawl out of the situation, right? But again, those are exceptions. They are not the rule. There are people who were dealt scars like this and were never able to crawl out of it. And this right here is how the vicious circle of poverty just continues to go round and round and round in certain households. It's so sad. People don't understand. This is why when I see people on the internet talking about how this was the best decision that they did, I get so sad, because this decision is going to affect so many people negatively, if not even generations to come negatively. People are not thinking about the economic, what is it called? Consequences of this decision. People and it gets me so worked up that I don't know why people are not getting this. And it's crazy to me that we are already at the end of 2024, but we are still having these conversations talking about whether or not children should be having children. Anyways, Earth cannot be a real place. This place get me real worked up, I swear, honestly. Earlier this year, I made a video talking about this particular dynamic where people believe that it's okay for children to be having children. Now, seeing how that particular video, I believe, is even more relevant that I bring it back up again, given the situation at hand, I'm going to be adding that video now at the end of this video. It's going to be rolling right through after my commentary, this particular commentary. So guys, let me know down below in the comment section, of course, what your thoughts are on all of this. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Let's continue this conversation down there. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. So now let's let that clip from TikTok roll.
Excuse me, are you in any way trying to say that if the 13-year-old girl who had the misfortune to be pregnant with the child of her, are you trying to say that if she strips her unborn baby the right to life, that it will undo the horrible thing that happened to her? Is that what you're trying to say? Because, I mean, ending the life of that baby is not going to make the go away. And in the life of that baby is not going to make the hurt go away. That baby is an innocent child.
This is how you know that this person don't really care about children. What they care about is upholding their religious beliefs by any means necessary. Because if you care about children, you would know that a 13-year-old girl is a child. And children are not supposed to be having children. The whole process of pregnancy and childbirth is a lot. Like this person says, it's overwhelming. Even for adult women, it's overwhelming. Adult women have died in the process of trying to birth a child, but she wants a child to go through this process. A child who is not even fully developed yet, not physically, emotionally, psychologically. This is who she's saying should birth a child if they end up pregnant. One, not only does she not care about the well-being of this 13-year-old, because it's medically unsafe for a 13-year-old to be having a child. They are not developed enough for the process. Two, she also doesn't care about the well-being of the unborn child of this 13-year-old. Because hello, if this 13-year-old successfully have this child, is she thinking about how this 13-year-old is going to go for the rest of her life, thinking about this child, feeling towards this child, and acting towards this child, given how she came about having the child to begin with? That child could have a miserable life. Because of how they came into this world, the mother just could hate them forever. This is how I know that these people don't really care about children. They don't. They just want to be able to push their religious beliefs down people's throats and make people abide by their religious beliefs. Because if you care about children, if you care about their life, if you care about their right to life, you care about them when they are in the womb, and you care about them from birth to death. But that's not what happens now, is it? Because if you go out there now to the orphanages, you would see children there that these folks clamored for to be born, but they don't want them. The saying shouldn't be children have the right to life. The saying should be children have the right to quality life. A trauma-free, toxicity-free life filled with love, peace, and happiness. And if we cannot give them that, let's stop bringing them down here to suffer. And also, let's stop advocating for other people and children who cannot give these children these things to bring them down here so they can suffer for the rest of their lives. Like, it's just not fair to the children.
But in case you want to know, if God forbid such a thing happens to me, I'm not going to end the baby's life. And if I know anybody close to me, the same advice.
But that's the thing, madam, you are an adult. You are old enough to make this decision. You are old enough to go through the entire process of pregnancy and childbirth. But this person was talking about a 13-year-old child. And there was a part of the video where she said terminating the baby is not going to get rid of the hurt. Yes, we all know it won't. But one thing we all know it would do is save the mother of this baby from constantly getting reminded of her trauma when she looks at her child. And it would also save this child from a life filled with undeserved pain. The pain that their father is a the pain that their father raped their mother, the pain that they are a result of this, the pain of having a mom that might hate them because of this, and they could even end up hating themselves because of this. All this pain and more, and they will take this with them for the rest of their life. Nobody should have to live like that. Nobody. Like, I wish these people who clamor so fervently against, these people who fight against, I wish they also clamor and fight for childcare and the welfare of these children that they want so desperately to be born. Like, I wish I can find them on the streets protesting and asking our government to start giving parents who are struggling some financial support so they can adequately take care of these kids that they so desperately wanted to be born. I wish I can find them on the streets protesting and asking for child safety and security, not only in our country, Nigeria, but on the continent at large, in our world at large. Daily, kids get missing. Nobody bats an eye. Kids get arrow-worded. It's as if nothing happened. The same kids that these people fought for that must be born. The same kids that you people said have the right to live, have the right to life. They have come now and nobody gives a fuck about them. You people cared so much about these kids when they are in the womb, but the moment they get born, nobody gives a fuck about them anymore. Right now, it is 9:29 a.m. Friday, the 2nd of February 2024, as I'm filming this ending part of this video. Kids are supposed to be in school right now getting educated. But if you go to PTI Junction now, you would find kids there who are not in school. If you go to NRA Junction now, you would find kids there who are not in school. If you go to a full roundabout now, you would find kids there who are not in school. Kids who don't even have good clothes on their backs, you would find them on our streets on a daily basis. These are kids that as a society we clamored for. They must be here. They are here now. And now every day, all of us, we pass them. Nobody gives a fuck about these kids. They're on the road begging. Nobody gives a fuck about these kids. I don't think anybody have been gaslit like the kids in our society. We've been gaslighting kids since before they were even born. Talking about how we care about them and how we love them and how we care about their welfare, this, that, and the third. Well, we really don't. So let's all just stop the cap. Our actions and our inactions, how we treat these kids daily and how we choose to not treat them daily. What we can do for these kids and what we have refused to do for these kids prove that we don't care about children. So let's stop the cap. Let's just call this what it is, which is what we actually do care about. It's upholding our religious beliefs by any means necessary, making sure that other groups of people live according to how our Bible said that they should live. And we do this at the expense of children. We don't care about the kids. What we care about is making sure that other people do what we want them to do. What we care about is making sure that we populate the earth. Should we care about the population we are making? No, let's just populate. The Bible says, let's go into the world and multiply. That's why we even force people who don't want to have kids to have kids. A woman comes out and says she doesn't want to have children and everybody goes up in arms. Why do you people want people who don't want children to have children? That just shows that you guys don't really care about kids. Because if you care about children, you would know that it is dangerous for a kid to be with someone who don't want them. And this is one of the reasons why I am so pro-choice. I don't care what anybody wants to call me till the day I die, till the day I pay, till the day I draw my last breath. I'll be pro-choice. Because if you cannot give these kids the kind of life that they deserve, if you cannot provide for them what they would be needing to live quality lives, don't bring them down here to suffer. If you don't want them, if you cannot love them, don't bring them down here. And I think it's about time we as a society come to the realization that we are actually a failure. Because if the most vulnerable in our society are not being cared for, provided for, and protected, we are a failure. And add hypocrites in there as well, because we are hypocrites too. We are an entire population of hypocrites talking about how we care about kids when we know we really don't.